This is Wake and Bake with Rev Dr. Kim. This week, I've got a question from a client that, again, is a hot topic. You know it. It goes like this. I'm always told to forgive. I'm always told to do so and that I need to for my healing, but it doesn't feel right. I don't want to forgive people who've behaved in unforgivable ways. Do I have to? Told ya. We all know this one. We all wrestle with it. It's shrouded in confusion and discomfort. Forgiveness. It's a concept that can be quite challenging to grasp. From a spiritual perspective, it invites us to gaze beyond the surface and perceive the broader tapestry of existence. It beckons us to peer into the soul level, where our journeys intertwine with intricate and purposeful ways. Every being carries a story, embarks on a unique journey, and plays a specific role. Yes, even those who've seemingly caused immense pain. It's important to acknowledge that before embodying these earthly forms, we chose our roles, relationships, and even adversaries. We did so with the wisdom of what we collectively and individually need for growth and evolution, even if that path is arduous. So let's start here. What is forgiveness? What does it mean? What does it look like? It means I'm going to accept that things happened as they did. I forgive you for not being who I needed you to be. I forgive you for not being who I need you to be now to be able to keep you unboundaried or in my life at all. I cannot change anybody else, and I cannot hold expectations on them either without knowing that they will let me down every single time, because they are my expectations, not theirs. I don't have a controller in my hand making their every decisions. I do not hold their past that shaped them, nor their future that they are creating in my control. I do not hold their karma in my control. I cannot hold expectations on anyone without knowing that they will let me down. It's the same with myself. I will hold myself to expectations, to standards, big ones, and I will inevitably let myself down. I will. And I will also forgive myself. I learned how important that component really is the hard way. Because I know me, I will continue to hold myself and society to a very high standard. I've seen our potential. I know we can do better. I will always hold out for that better. Always. Because if we don't, we'll never try and we'll never grow to reach and attain it. That's why the Buddha and Jesus showed us what they did. That's why they came, to show us our potential. But we're not there yet, and I know this. So I forgive us, myself included. I know that I will let myself down. I know that society will let me down. And I know that we'll keep trying. Not with complacency, but not with berating either. By accepting the what is. Accepting the ignorance, the skills deficiency, the story of their trauma and mine, their point of projection and mine, their errors and immaturity and mine. Understanding as I understand my own shortcomings. And forgiving. Knowing how true it is that when we know better, we do better. And so we gather the wisdom of our mistakes, of our heartaches and our sufferings, and we do better. We keep learning, and we keep doing better. When you can thank your supposed opposition and see them as a companion, as a teacher, a guide, a cautionary tale, a catalyst for cycle breaking, generational trauma breaking, a hard but necessary lesson, a kick in the ass to force change, a hard look in the mirror. When you can get to the place of thanking these catalysts, these soul level team players, that's healing. That's freedom from entanglement, and that's where real change and possibility exists. Yes, even with the people who hurt you, abused you, and yes, the ones who hurt the children too. I know how hard this is to grasp intellectually and emotionally, and I am not without a heart. I am not without compassion or even my own struggles to get to this gratitude. But I get there every single time. I can zoom way out and see the big picture, the story of our souls, the evolution of the cycles and karma. And I understand. I understand how we get to places, even very dark places, and how every single heart-crushing, debilitating, and abusive experience I've had, violent and psychological, and even with my kids, if I step back and look, really look, I can see it. I can see the place of grace. I can see the opening for light. I can see gratitude for where I'm at and what we're left with and where to go. We forget we're souls on a mission. We forget this isn't personal. We forget we're eternal. We forget that longevity doesn't equate a successful soul's path. We forget that suffering, and especially facing mortality, are the best doors into the kingdom of heaven. They're the greatest awakeners. We live in a world of duality. To understand one, we must know the other. And the beautiful thing is, the cycle of this duality is what pushes us to transcend it, into knowing your eternal nature and your oneness with God, with the all, with the universe itself, your oneness with each other, with all of mankind. Heaven and hell are both internal experiences. You get to choose. Hang on to your anger, your pain, your resentment, your expectations of the otherness of the world, or let go and let God and let karma and let yourself be free from all the attachments you hold to things being different than they were. Let go of your attachment to things needing to be different for you to feel free. They weren't and they aren't and they ain't never gonna be perfect. So let that codependency go. Let your desire to control what was or what is, or your desire for how things and people should be and should have been, and take 100% responsibility for your own experience. You decide. Are you in heaven or are you in hell? Are you a prisoner, a victim, or are you a survivor? Are you an eternal soul, boundless and cageless, having a human experience? The human experience is messy. It's meant to be. It's good and bad and ugly, and it's fucking beautiful too. The awakening gives you the ability to consciously choose. Choose your own adventure. You can't miss your destiny. You laid that out before you came into this physical body with these physical beings surrounding you, already decided on critical experiences and letdowns and interactions and interventions, already decided your time of death, just as your time of birth was meticulously chosen. This is not a universe of chance. It's a perfect universe. Everything in balance, everything in mathematical sense and grids and divine perfection, everything. Even the things that hurt you, even the things that piss you off, even the things that you fuck up. Forgive. And no, I don't mean condone or allow anything or anyone that is hurtful or dangerous to continue. That's not anything I'm saying here. That's not what we're talking about. I think we need new words. We really do. So many people get defensive when they're told to forgive, and I can understand that. Because somewhere along the way, the words, I'm sorry, became entangled with forgiveness. And they're not the same. I'm sorry is a request for absolution, to be let off the hook, to be given a pass or another chance for themselves. Please forgive me is supposed to mean, please release yourself from the damage I've caused. I'm sorry should mean, I acknowledge and see the error of my ways and I'm taking steps to do differently. But it usually doesn't. It too often means absolve me of my guilt and shame and let me off the hook. Of course, your pain, your boundaries, your ego will throw up a shield at that. There's no validation of your own feelings, so why should you tend to theirs? I get it. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about selfish apologies. We're talking about allowing the other, the journey of their otherness, and taking responsibility for ourselves, our lives, our thoughts and emotions and experience. I forgive you means I am free from you and your decisions and your path. If you're not there just yet, it's okay, but let it sink in. Maybe give this another listen and just consider what loosening your resistance to letting go just a little might do for you. Let's light it up with Rev Dr. Kim.